Hello, celebrity gossip enthusiasts. I'm Travis Cronin, and you're listening to Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast. God, it's so good to be back. We have been gone for so long, and the celebrities, well, they have been celebritying. I am so glad to be back with the woman who can tell you the difference between Valentino Red and Chanel Rouge, Gwen Flamberg.
Oh, Travis, I always feel so seen and with my favorite color and designers. Hey, guys, Happy New Year.
And the lady who can tell you the difference between the bachelors, Lauren C., Lauren B., Lauren H., Lauren K., and Lauren I., Sarah Heron.
Wow. Surprisingly, I'm pretty sure no Lauren's on Clayton season, which just started. But if there was one, I would definitely know what season she was on, what she's doing now, and all of the above. And I missed you guys so much. There is literally so much to discuss.
Yes, there is. Well, we have so much news to get in today. We have pregnancies that are unsurprising that I cannot wait to talk about. We have huge celebrities unfollowing other celebrities. We have messy housewives. We have new hookups. We have fights in Las Vegas, and we have much, 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 much more. But let's get started off. Do you guys remember this? We do woes. Gwen Flamberg, what story made you go whoa this week?
Oh my God, Travis. I went, whoa, when I heard that Jessica Simpson finally bought back her billion-dollar business. You know, she was like a fashion mogul. I feel like enough people don't give her credit for actually growing a business to $1 billion. And then she sold it in 2015. And the brand or the partnership that she sold it to blamed her for lack of sales. She was less involved, and she just bought it back so that she can make her fashion empire fantastical again. And so, you know, my intention for her for this next year is to bring us some more triple platform sandals. Please, Jess, please.
Her shoes are so amazing. She honestly deserves that billionaire title. Everything she makes is super cute. Jess, you're killing it. So, Huron, what made you go whoa this week?
You know, I love Jessica Simpson. I mean, I'm literally staring at open book right now, the best book ever. I hope we get another book from Jessica in addition to the sandals. But my woe, it wasn't exactly this week, but we didn't get a chance to talk about it. And it feels pretty on brand for this show to briefly touch on Meghan King dropping that Christmas divorce after just 2 months of marriage with Cuff Owens, Joe Biden's nephew. In case you missed it, Meghan and Cuffy, still unclear.
I don't know if it's Cuff or Cuffy. I say Cuffy, but that could be his nickname.
We don't have to know anymore. Let's go Cuff.
We don't have to know exactly. He was relevant for literally 2 months of our lives. They got married on October 11th, Hallie and Annie from The Parent Trap's birthday. That's how I remember. And they had been together for about 3 weeks after meeting on Raya. And now they are over. They are donezo. And according to Meghan, I am, quote, rattled. The situation is profoundly devastating. This is obviously not what I imagined when I made my vows. And I am shocked and saddened by the way things turned out. I am moving forward with my children as we privately process our pain and begin to let go of shattered dreams. At this time, I ask for your grace and gentle kindness as I navigate this labyrinth of grief with my family.
Labyrinth of grief. That was the statement there.
Yep.
And that was beautiful. Sarah, thank you for that dramatic reading, that labyrinth of grief.
Like Gwyneth Witches.
The Gwyneth Witches, that she had a labyrinth of grief. That drama, I mean, fantastic. Thank you, Megan Kidd Eggmans. Can't wait to hear on your new podcast and how, you know, you stretch this out into weeks and weeks. And, you know, I'm not really hating because we're going to talk about it. So I'm genuinely excited.
Can't wait to see if she gets married for a 4th time, personally.
Yeah, maybe even a 5th if we're lucky. My woe this week goes to, I guess, HBO Max in general, where they confused somehow the Hermione Granger, Emma Watson, with Emma Roberts during the reunion. And they were showing what was supposed to be Emma Watson's baby picture and showed a baby picture of Emma Roberts instead. And so my question is, did, you know, someone at HBO Max just Google like Emma celebrity baby and like get the wrong in? It is just such a strange flub that really just made me go, whoa, and how and why this week.
Honestly, Travis, same, because I think about how much we go through with like photo credits and getting like access to pictures and getting sued for using pictures. Like, how did they literally just Google, like you said, Emma Watson baby photo and pick that one? And
Emma celebrity.
Right. Didn't even figure out where it like came from. Like, that was so confusing. And no one really ever, it was like one Twitter user who figured it out. And then of course they confirmed it. They're like, good job, Harry Potter fans. And then the Emmas are like joking about it. I loved the special though. I'm a new Harry Potter fan. Like, I've seen the movies. I saw them in theaters because I like grew up perfect time of like every single release, whatever. I went to midnight because all my friends were fans. I never read the books. I didn't really care. I was like a casual, whatever. And then I started the new year by watching all 8 movies leading up to the reunion. And I was like, damn, I guess these are pretty good after all.
They're amazing. The
movies are amazing. And by the way, Sarah Heron, do yourself a favor and read the books because they're even better than the movies. They are amazing. I'm a true Harry Potter stan.
There's like 5 out of 7 that are better than the movies. There's like 2 where the movies are better. Because I'm from that age where I was at Borders bookstore at midnight to buy them.
Yeah, I did that for like
other
Twilight.
Kid my age. Oh, I didn't even know they did that with Twilight. I thought they were
Barnes and Noble at midnight. In my pajamas.
Well, let us break into some of this news, and we are going to start off the new year with a that is a little bit confusing, but we're going to dig into it. Kim Kardashian has reportedly unfollowed Miley Cyrus after she appeared on her New Year's Eve special with Pete Davidson. A Miley Cyrus fan account first noted that Kim began unfollowing Miley on Instagram that Kim was following Miley on Instagram on December 10th. However, she has since unfollowed Miley. Despite Kim and, her friendship with Miley Cyrus. I remember back when Miley Cyrus was like 13, 14, they were all hanging out with Courtney at nightclubs, and it was like a strange time for us all because Miley was one of the biggest celebrities as a child in the game. But apparently Kim saw the special and did not like it because she was all up on her man, Pete Davidson. Miley was serenading him and dancing all up on him on Jimmy Fallon's This Tonight Show, singing It Should Have Been Me. And then, of course, Miley Cyrus went to Pete's condo in Staten Island following that performance, according to reports that we. And what I don't understand, does Kim think that Miley wants Pete? Is she just uncomfortable by Miley showing so much skin around him and giving him lap dances? That seems sort of justified a little bit, I guess. Sarah Heron, why did this happen?
Okay, I think that Kim started following Miley because they were preparing for the New Year's Eve special. She wanted to see some pics of her man. Pete's not on Instagram. And she was like, all right, I'll follow her through this New Year's Eve special. Then the New Year's Eve special happened, and Miley Cyrus posts a lot on Instagram and a lot of like repetitive content. So I think Kim was simply just like, all right, I'm done with you, Miley, like not thinking, I guess she should know that it was going to be a thing. So maybe I'm wrong and I'm naive, but I personally think she was just like, okay, I followed her through the preparation of the New Year's Eve NBC special. It aired, whatever. I'm over it. I don't need to keep following Miley Cyrus because like it's irrelevant to her life on Instagram. Because Kim she gets picky. She unfollows people a lot. And it's like her vibe is what she'll say. So I personally don't think it's like some big beef. I think she was just like, I'm done. Good job on the special. If you watched it, by the way, I watched like every New Year's Eve special because I was home and working New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. So I can tell you anything that happened on any of these BS specials, but Miley's and Pete was quite enjoyable.
As it should be. Of course it was. I don't think that it was any big deal either. I mean, maybe it was just to kind of like stir up some drama, but I don't think that Kim is threatened by Miley Cyrus or really anyone. And she and Pete are now on a beach vacation, and she posted quite the bikini pic today. If you guys haven't seen it, go to usmagazine.com/stylish. And hopefully Kim will be giving us some bikini pictures throughout this entire vacation. I'd actually really like to see the two of them together, canoodling much in the way that Kravis does. With skin.
I guess I would too. It's just the sort of juxtaposition of the skeleton versus the perfectly spray tanned, and that every centimeter a doctor or, esthetician has touched on one.
And the tattoos on the other.
And the tattoos on the other. I mean, maybe
I think it would really like it.
Yeah, maybe I'll really like it. High art.
There was blind gossip that said like maybe Kim found like, or it was a very blind gossip, like assumptions that Kim found like a photo of Miley on Pete's phone or something.
Right.
And I was like, Miley Cyrus is never dressed. Like, did you see the New Year's Eve special at midnight when she was singing her Party in the USA? Her top literally broke. Yeah. And because she knew she was on NBC and she couldn't she would have just obviously whipped it off, but she would have gotten in serious trouble. So she literally had to walk backstage, put on a blazer that she was wearing earlier, keep singing Party in the USA. Like, Miley's never wearing clothes. So if there was a scantily clad photo of Miley Cyrus on Pete's phone, that's just Tuesday. So I don't think that that's a reason she would be unfollowing her either. So I don't believe that there's this Miley Cyrus Kim beef. I just don't.
I don't either. You don't need to work very hard. Miley's very open with nudity. Yeah. And, bless her for loving her body. Well, let's move to another side of this Kim Kardashian and Pete Davidson romance, because what I really think is interesting is that Kanye West is now dating a whole bunch of new people, or just dating one or two. It's really hard to tell, but one is Julia Fox, star of Uncut Gems. Great movie, by the way.
Yes.
But Julia Fox was also in that weird Barbie Ken doll photo shoot with Pete Davidson. She's sitting like a stoic doll in a bathtub. He is, being his like weird Ken doll self, serving up some fashion. And Kanye and Julia Fox have been spotted out a lot. And this last time in Tuesday was one of the bigger ones. They had dinner at Carbone in Greenwich Village. Shout out to Spicy Rigatoni, around 9:30. And that was right after the two saw the Broadway production of Slave Play, also so amazing. And an onlooker told us that they seem super comfortable with each other and happy. It seems like a new relationship. They seemed happy and ease with each other. What I thought was weird was that Kanye, I guess it's not really weird for Kanye, that Kanye brought a photographer to Slave Play to take pictures of him reacting to the play, arguably just for his own private collection. And this NYC outing marks the fourth time they've been spotted out together. They were seen several times in Miami when Kanye was hosting a surprise New Year's Eve party with Future. The two also had a double date at Drink Champs with Noriega and his wife, Neri. And I think Kanye was also spotted on a balcony with two different women. He's been spotted out with a model named Yasmin. And I can't tell if he's just sort of like living his single fantasy or that he's desperately trying to make Kim jealous. Gwen Plamberg, what is the true answer and only answer to this question?
These two are like a riddle wrapped up in an enigma. As I say over and over again, I have no idea what is really happening with the two of them. I don't think that any of us really know, Kim and Kanye, but I'm into this Julia Fox. Like, I would like to see Kanye dating somebody who is smart and cool and interesting and beautiful, not just like a model, actress, whatever. So let's see what happens.
Agreed. They also, spent the night together at Kanye's hotel, and then she came back with a baby carriage. Sarah, what is your reaction to all of the Kanye that we are seeing here?
I think it's classic. I don't think it's a coincidence that, it didn't take long for the internet to find a photo of Julia Fox and Pete Davidson working together. I also don't think he's dating anyone very seriously. Like our source said, I think he's just trying to keep up. We know he bought that house across the street from Kim, which in one way could be like, oh, well, that's good for the kids. Like they'll be able to see both their parents all the time. But on the other side, it's like, oh, is he doing that because he's like not letting go? I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting to see what 2022 holds for Kimye. Will the divorce be final? Will there be any major like public pleas for Kim? How long will she be with Pete? Like, I think, will Kanye take to Twitter and tell us what he's really been thinking this whole time? Probably all the above. I don't know. I think it's going to be interesting, but I don't think Julia Fox is like, it's not love.
It could be, Sarah. How dare you? They could be very much in love and have lots of common interests. Well, Gwen Flamberg, I think you have a couple sisters, but there's another one people don't know about, and it's Jessica Chastain. Just kidding, but sisters in your mind. Tell us why Jessica Chastain was a little weirded out about what her grandmother did to superstar Bradley Cooper.
Jessica Chastain is my soul sister in redhead land. I love her so much, and I wish that I looked more like her. I really do. Anyway, I mean, I love this story so much. It was truly life-giving this week. Jessica Chastain was on the Ellen show promoting her new movie, 355. And Ellen brought up that, Jessica is very close with her grandmother, and she has been trying to help her grandmother find love, which I think is adorable and amazing. And apparently she tried to introduce her to Al Pacino because she had been in a film with him, and her grandmother was like, kind of into it. And then she introduced her to Matthew McConaughey, and her grandmother was super stoked. But, she got the most excited when Jessica brought her to a party. Bradley Cooper was there, and grandma just went on over and sat on Bradley's lap. And Bradley got like super freaked out. Like he was like, what the F is going on here? And Jessica Chastain had to run over and be like, it's my grandma. It's my grandma. And then of course, Bradley was like, oh, hi, grandma. And like got into it. But yeah, grandma is going for it. And I hope to be just like her when I am geriatric. That is the moral of this story.
We could all hope to be. I've actually strangely met Jessica Chastain, her mother, and her grandmother before.
Wow. Where? I've only met her once at a Ralph Lauren event.
Never met anyone named with the last name Chastain. Shocking.
I've met all three Chastains at the after party for Tammy Faye Baker, also amazing movie. Yes. And her grandmother was a firecracker. Her mother is like so lovely and like reserved, but it skipped a generation, and that grandmother is very fiery. So this story was just like, yeah, that totally tracks, and she'll go back for seconds if Bradley Cooper ever crosses her path again. Well, Sarah Huron, there is a hot new hookup that I know that you have been thinking about nonstop because it involves your queen of opening expensive presents around Christmas time and former and, queen of overcoming college admission scandals, Olivia Jade. Tell us about her hot new hookup and just, any news you want to share on Olivia Jade because you know more than your average Joe.
Oh, I got an Olivia Jade update for you. A few things. One, she finally acknowledged that everyone has been asking her to bring back the luxury Christmas hauls on TikTok. And she was like, never again. Like she was like, no. And I was like, Olivia, like there was a lot. I have been tweeting that for like 3 years. People really got on board this year, wanting her to bring back the luxury hauls. And she addressed it on TikTok and said, I will never do that again. And I think that is just upsetting, Olivia.
It sort of makes sense though. I mean,
of course it'd be in poor taste, but that's what we want from her. I'm not a stan of Olivia Jade because I actually like believe in her. But you know who might? Jacob Elordi. Yes. Of Euphoria fame. The two of them were spotted out together in Los Angeles grabbing coffee. The same day that Kaya Gerber was spotted out with, what's his name? I can't remember.
Yes.
But her ex, so Jacob Elordi and Kaya Gerber dated for like a year. They broke up, and he is now hanging out with Olivia Jade. A source tells us that, it's casual. They're keeping it casual, but they've been on some dates. Obviously, they both got out of relationships recently, so they're not rushing into anything serious. So far, it's just sparks between them.
Great.
So very exciting for Olivia Jade. Obviously, Jacob Elordi is like kind of a big deal.
Euphoria's coming back.
Yeah, Euphoria is coming back. I assume they probably would like matched on an app or like he reached out to her. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting potential duo. Olivia also had a new podcast episode come out today, which, is something I'm very tapped into, Conversations with Olivia Jade. And she was talking about misconceptions about her. And she said, there's a big misconception about me, at least personally, where I get the comment of you don't work hard. I didn't have to start my YouTube when I was 14. I put in a lot of work. There's all these rumors floating around about my grades. Quote, she clearly didn't work hard. She must have failed school. I don't think I've ever said this publicly, but in high school, I had straight A's and I worked really hard.
How about rowing?
Yeah.
How about rowing, Olivia Jade? Did you row? Were you a rower?
It's possible.
I'm sure she thinks she works very hard and does a lot of things. It's made her famous. I'm not trying to take away from her accomplishments that most people do in their free time, but there, I said it.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, it was Austin Butler who Kaya Gerber was spotted with. I couldn't leave everybody
Thank you.
hanging.
I couldn't remember.
I couldn't either.
And that's a Hutchins ex and star of the new Elvis movie.
A lot of potential young Hollywood couples. Really, things are brewing, but it's early in the year, so we don't know what's gonna pan out.
Well, we do know that they will change.
Yes.
Well, Sarah Huron, there has been a hotter new hookup that I can't wait for you to tell us about, and it is with Andy Cohen and a bottle of liquor. What can you tell us about this hot new pairing? We've seen it before. It's on and off again, but they were hot and heavy on New Year's Eve.
That's a great way to put it. I mean, Andy's never been a stranger to drinking on live television. He doesn't watch What Happens Live almost every night, except for when he goes on those cleanses. But Andy, for I think it was maybe the fourth year, he was co-hosting with Anderson Cooper on CNN's New Year's Eve special. And this year, they always do the shots at the top of the hour, which is a huge, a big draw because Anderson makes the hilarious faces. Anderson doesn't usually drink, so he gets drunk really quick. Usually Andy then pulls Anderson in, which he did for the first half of the broadcast, but they did a lot of drinking in between the shots, which they don't normally do. And that the proof was in the pudding about 11:30-ish when Andy Cohen started going off about how Ryan Seacrest and the ABC situation that was happening in Times Square across from them, that they could see that their broadcast was a bunch of losers. And he was very passionate about the fact that it was Journey without Steve Perry, the lead singer. And he was going off about Journey. Then right after the clock strikes midnight, he's going off about Mayor Bill de Blasio, which he did last year too, but even more passionate this year. And it was very funny, and the de Blasio stuff got a lot of headlines, the Journey stuff. I low-key think this Ryan Seacrest beef is kind of my fault because Us Weekly was the first outlet the next morning when I was writing to get the bunch of losers in a headline.
Good job.
And it's what he said. I heard it with my own ears. I didn't make it up, and he's not denying it, but he is regretting it. He went on Howard Stern. He has said that he regrets making the comment specifically about ABC and about Ryan Seacrest because he thinks he's a good guy. But he also denied the fact that Kelly Ripa was upset with him because everyone was like, oh, Kelly Ripa and Andy Cohen are BFFs. Kelly Ripa and Ryan Seacrest host live. Is there now talk show beef here? According to Andy, there's not. Ryan Seacrest has yet to comment, but he did share the ratings, which were better than CNN's on his Instagram story just a couple hours ago. So unclear if that was his subtle confirmation. Andy and CNN have also denied that he was fired. Great press for CNN, in my opinion. I thought it was great.
It was great. It was hilarious. You definitely manifested that, Sarah Huron. I have no doubt. I feel like when people go to the Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper New Year's Eve special, they are going for that kinds of entertainment. Yep. So while he did go a little far, Andy Cohen with Watch What Happens Live is a show with a bar with drunk people picking fights. So I don't think that this is really going to affect him long term. And I kind of think that it, if anything, brought more heat to that particular show and to him. So I think we're all good here. Happy New Year, Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper, who I love and I'd like to hang out with. He seems really fun.
Yeah, I just love his giggle.
There was so much pressure. If you looked at Andy's comments on Instagram, there's always going to be haters and stuff. But leading up to New Year's Eve, it was all I have for New Year's Eve. I have COVID. This person has COVID. I need you and Anderson to make me laugh. So I think they always say stuff like that. And again, you watch CNN, you don't normal CNN. People are tuning into CNN that don't watch CNN all year round on New Year's Eve because they want to see Andy and Anderson. It's not the same crowd. There's of course that too, but there's definitely people who are watching CNN only on New Year's Eve to see Andy Cohen and Anderson Cooper and their dynamic. And I think he was feeling the heat to heal America and make people laugh on New Year's after a shitty year. Betty White died hours before, talk about that was fun work day. And then, this, so I understand the being, quote unquote, and he made the joke, I was overserved. And then everyone's like, you served yourself. He's like, yeah, that's the joke. But it really was great. And it's delivered content for almost a week into the new year. So Andy now knows what it's like for people to go and watch him live and get drunk and say something stupid. He has now done that after all these years himself. And I think it's great.
Well, thank you, Andy Cohen. And while I thought it was so weird, I can't wait to see what he does next year. So I guess mission accomplished. Well, thank you so much to my host, Erin Gwen. It is so good to be back talking crap with all of you and helping me spill all of this piping hot celebrity this week. Again, this is Travis Cronin, Us Weekly's Hot Hollywood podcast with your weekly peek into the glamour, glitter, fashion, fame of your favorite celebrities. After all, they're just like us. Wow, we are talented in 2022. All right, we will see you guys next week. Thank you.